There's a whisper in the shadows, a heartbeat in the night, a call for all the dreamers to stand and make it rise. We're living in a world that's crying out in pain, but together we can heal it like sunshine after rain. Just look inside your heart, let it show you where to start. So let's change the world, make it shine. The love so pure, so divine. One step at a time, hand in hand, we'll turn around, make a stand. There's a child in the mirror, the stars in the eyes, dreaming of tomorrow, reaching for the skies. They don't see the lines, don't know black and white. They only see the colors, a world that's full of life. It's in the way we give, the way we care. So let's change the world, make it shine. The love so pure, so divine. One step at a time, hand in hand, we'll turn around, make a stand. So let the music play, let it fill the air. We'll rise above the fear, we'll show we care.
Ration the poor, let them eat war, let them eat war. There's an urgent need to be. There's a prophet on a mountain and he's cooking up dinner. They said anybody can look like a winner when it's served up piping hot. Well, they're not looking for a handout. They're America's working core. Is this what they voted for? Let them eat war. Let them eat war. There's an urgent need to be. Remember, my brothers and sisters, recover and return. Cause you and I, we're gonna survive in the iron storm. We pledge to do. Survive in the iron storm. I pledge to do. And we must remember who we are. Recover the real power, which is the complete package energy of the eternal orgasm. And without the vril, we can't return home. Remember, recover, return, relax. Is this what they voted for? War. Let them eat war. And it's hard to believe that there is a living personality like Ronald McDonald Trump. There, it seems to be just a show. Is somebody really like that? And what is the foundation? Surely everything is branching off from 666 the Beast. And if you really calculate the name, which means understand, it doesn't mean the letters of his name add to 666. That's retarded. It means that to the people, to the author who wrote the book of Revelation, it means something to him, specifically already before he wrote it. It's called the author's intent. And where you and I are living in a holographic simulated world, and you're laying, it's like you're dreaming. You're laying on a bed in Venus, you're connected into technology that connects everyone who is connected in. It connects their imaginations. And imagination is the organ, the instrument that we've forgotten. It's like a game that you pretend that you can't imagine anything better. It's like a challenge. It is something, it is an initiation for some people like me. Thank you, Maria. Miss Lady, Miss Missouri River Goddess, Ria is right here. And she reminded me that it's not all. This is, she wants people to know this is not a performance or an act. This is direct communication from Maria Orsic on Venus to you, the listener, because Maria is quite a great projector of her mind. She's on Venus in the park next to her house, meditating, projecting herself here like she does all the time. When it gets really serious, she goes down to our local holographic lab, and she also jacks into the matrix, and she becomes Diana, Danu, Parvati. They switch bodies, we switch bodies. That's what's called fun in the future. In the future on Venus, there is some very universal things like astrology and magic. And would you like Maria's, I asked her, explanation of, I should finish my sentences, right? Do you want Maria's explanation for the source of the definitions of astrology? I had to ask her to repeat this a few times because long before I knew she was Maria, as a Missouri River goddess, she told me, I got a homework assignment for you. Read your birth chart every day until I see you next week. And she said, really, the only thing you need to know? She said, I think you could figure this out by yourself. But I'll just, as a mother, lay it on you. The planets are who you were the moment before you came here. The houses are what you planned for that person who is the planets. You planned to go in those houses and experience the things that you planned. So the next week I drank my mushrooms. I went off with Maria. And I said to her, holy fuck. Holy fucking hella. This is exactly me, the planets. And she said, well, you before you came here, but I'm helping you be who you were before you came here. And I went, this is already what already happened to me. This is the houses. I told her, I said, they already happened. Word for word. Right? So all night I marveled. I can't really remember what happened after that. But the next ritual after that, I said to her, holy fuck, who came up with astrology? The definitions for the planets. Who did that? And she said, future technology. Technology in the future can actually, she said, Joe, this is what makes us different than animals. We're conscious that our brain, our mind, is a hard drive recording every single thing, every emotion, every thought. In her own pretty Scorpio way, she said, I'm telling you, they've developed these, or they already had developed way before we even existed. The Hyperborean gods, the Aldebaran gods, the giants, had this technology, the definitions for each sign of the zodiac came from Aldebaran computer technology, recording digitally, if you prefer that crystallization, every thought and emotion. They're literally put into like an AI database, and you get Leo, you get Virgo, you get Scorpio, you get these, what, Joe? And I went, personalities. And she's like, who created you, lion? I was like, you did, Scorpio, mother. She's like, sing it to me. The lion and the Scorpio. Leo, Scorpio. What's up with the O's? And, I mean, how obvious is it that, I mean, no one really gets this, but Maria, from the very beginning, she's like, what's the Leo? sign. What is that? That's not a lion. I said, it's a snake. She's like, exactly. Somehow, some way I'm going to show you, and this is Maria talk, how the America was the land of astrology. The white giants, gods, who lived in America before the Native American Indians, they laid out America in a giant zodiac representation on the ground, so that you could fly up out of your body at you can leave your body, fly up and see the zodiac, right? And the serpent mound is the Scorpio / Leo. And if you can right now, if you've never seen the serpent mound, and it's in Ohio, the serpent mound, if you take a look at it, I think you'll easily see the Leo sign. It's also, it's like a serpent / sperm, like a little fish. And of course, if you believe that's where your soul came from, maybe you deserve what you're going to get. Do you really think that all of this was in that little sperm? Do you really think you were created? Well, in the name of Maria Orsic, we break the curse of the 666 beast over you. Don't you see the common thread? Don't you see the common thread? Gentile means beast, right? Goyim means cattle, right? They say you evolved from a monkey, right? They say, under a microscope, you come from a little fish. And we've just come along to say, no, the little fish was the vehicle for me to switch bodies with. Actually, I asked Maria, when is your spirit essence put into your avatar body? And she said, Joe, these things aren't concrete and literal. It's never completely evident, right? And that week she showed me how my true self entered the avatar when I was 5 years old to save my life from a car accident. I said, well, okay, then who was the little boy before the essence jumped in? She said, he was and will always be the creation of the true self. She said, in the same way that I created your personality, your true self is creating another personality of himself in the technology. She said, check this out, put these things together. The true self of great men and women created the technology. Oh, I'm sorry. The technology in which you understand these things and experience these things. Imagine that. That the very understanding of these things are being given to you by inventors of technology. Like she said, Maria once, she was wearing just like a little summer dress. And she said, I'm not a techie person. I said, yeah, you're a dancer. I know. And she said, look, do I have a phone? And she said, I'm telling you, this is how I'm dressed on Venus. I just walked to the park. Did I carry a phone? I said, no, you have no tech. And she said, why, son, my beautiful son, why? I said, because in your life, the people you work with dance, and me work within the matrix. You don't need to call them on a phone. You can telepathically communicate with them. She said, yeah, why? She said, yeah, you're right, but why do you say that? You just guessing? And, she's being funny. I said, no. I said, because you and I telepathically communicate every day. And this is no bullshit. After, I guess it was after I knew she was Maria. So after 13 months, yeah, I specifically remember now. So this would have been like December 2012. Going into 2013. I drank my mushrooms. I flew off with the great and awesome mother. And she said to me, Joseph, it's time we put our love to the test. I was like, huh? And she's like, we can communicate like this during the day. I said, we can? Because I was standing right in front of her. Matter of fact, I was sitting. She was sitting on her couch in a white dress. And I was sitting on her other couch, which is in her like dance studio. And like she said, if we ate, it would also be the kitchen. It's like a dance floor connected onto a little dining room kitchen that has no appliances. Because the only thing we really consume on Venus is smoke. For all natural, we grow mushrooms, grow herb, but we don't have digestive systems. So for all natural plant journeys, we enter into simulations that put us directly in touch with, it's just like you coming here and drinking mushrooms. And let me tell you, there is a million fucking worlds. Like like Maria said, we say simulation. But each of these worlds is as real as this one. If you're satisfied or you're moved, hot or cold, by this world, then let me tell you, you should give thanks and praise to the inventors of this technology, because you're actually confessing that this is real life, that this is as real as life gets. The only realer that life gets on Venus is face to face. Here we are face to face. But we live a lot of our life in, magic, which is constantly projecting your essence, mind, will, decision, emotion, feeling, power, right? She's like, what is power, Joey? I said, I don't know. It's funny you would say that. I don't know. She said, I say it's vril. She's like, I'm the butterfly. As she lifted herself. I don't know if I ever told you, or I told you, talked about Maria. She told me a story that Lou had been telling her that Maria could, at the right time and right place, by the right, visualization, audiozation, mental projection through the true self-imagination. What are you trying to tap into to have power? The imagination of the true self. If you want to pray for something, say, true self, give me your imagination. Right? And she said, I was told that I could levitate the same way that she said, I was being told by Lou that you are the UFO. You are the flying object. You are the propulsion system. You're the vril propulsion. Like she said, he said, look at my dick. It's propelled. And because she is the beautiful, lovely, sexy Scorpio mother. And she said, I was 32 years old. And I had never done this. I felt like I was an old-ass witch at this point. I had a few gray hairs already. And I was like, I'm an old-ass witch. I've been doing this for 20 fucking years, nigga. And, she said, I started to say to Lou, hey, maybe I can levitate off the ground, off the earth, through the water, air, fire, and earth, through the vril. He was like, yeah, do you think the sexual energy could get so intense that it could lift you off the ground? She was like, yes, I do. And she said this went on for years. And she would say, I used to joke with him, hey, what happened to the right time and the right place? And she said, I really was joking. It didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was how I felt inside, who I was inside. And she said, I would joke and say, oh, you're going to make me levitate this week? What about Ziggy? Are we going to float away like air balloons, like the Zeppelins? And she said Lou would say to her all the time, I'm saving it. Saving it. In time, my daughter, in time. And she said, this is when we first got phones in Vienna. And I got it was like there was one phone for the whole building. And, which was 3 people, 3 families. And, it was our store, and our dance studio, and our apartment, and then 2 apartments next to us, or what you would call a duplex. She said so they installed one phone, basically like what you would call a payphone, and we didn't even know how to work it at first. And what you did is you called from payphone to payphone and just let it ring. It could ring for 5-10 minutes before someone finally picked it up. And you literally asked, do you know this person? If you do, would you please get them for me? That would, you literally, Maria said, you literally met people for the first time from them answering the phone. You'd say, hello, my name is Maria, and I am calling from Vienna, and how you do? Who am I speaking to? And it could be anyone. It could be, someone that was just walking down the street. And you say, I'm trying to get someone in a building, if you got a minute, would you mind knocking on their door for me? She said, I made several friends this way. Real friends, Joseph, real friends. And she said one day I got a call from my father. She said, Maria, you're hitting the big time. Like I said, when you were 1 second old, you're going to be famous. And I thought, I am not that good of a dancer. I'm teaching 8-year-olds right now. And I don't think that the world's stage is ready for me. She's like, my ass and pussy would probably be hanging out. Knowing my crazy shamanic dancing. If they really let me loose. She was like, they might call it X-rated if they truly let me be myself. And my father told me I ran into somebody else who's famous in our world, Mr. Himmler. He said, I am placing this call to you, Maria, because Mr. Himmler will be visiting you on this day. Be home, be ready, be prepared. So he came about 4 hours late. So he came in the middle of a dance lesson, and we appropriately made him wait. In our apartment, where he probably went through our stuff, but we didn't have anything to hide, right? So later, we told Mr. Himmler, if you want to know what we're about, come back and do this ritual with us. He did, and him and 2 of his highest ranking officers, Peter and Stephen, very biblical Christian names, huh, Joseph? They came, and we gave them each 22 grams of Amanita muscaria. And we had a Indian drummer friend of ours from India, Hindu, and he was present. Me and Sig danced, and I think they liked it. How we were close and touching pussies. She said, but I'll tell you one thing, Lou was enjoying it. Lou was having a good old time freaking Mr. Himmler out. And at the right time, Lou said to me, Maria, just you, have Siggy go sit by the drummer and tell her, help me. She said, I always felt like I was chosen to do these things because I was older than Sig and a little more experienced. Just a little, though. And I put on a record. I began to dance, and Lou said to me, I think now is the time for you to levitate. She said, we lived in a beautiful old building that was like built for commercial, like a storage, you might say, for the stores underneath. And it was pretty high ceilings. And literally, I was visualizing in my head as I danced the exact UFO that was going to be built very soon. Within 10 years' time, we would have the UFO that I was visualizing. She said, and back then I used to visualize the arms of the swastika as blades cutting through the matrix, cutting through the bullshit, right? 3 blades spinning in such precision that if 1 degree different, they would lock up and touch. They would grind against the steel. And she said, I'm not playing when I say this. So we had on these, our shamanic gear, right? I had this white, long, it was like a ceremonial, like jacket almost, she said, in your time, Joseph. But it went down low. It was all white with a Vril sign that was actually drawn on by Siggy for me. And beautifully dyed purple Vril sign, which is my name. And underneath that we had that we had worn for 10 years. Our white ritual, white and we also had white and red ones that I've shown you, but just our white ones. And she's like, Joe, that's all I had on. And she said, because believe me, I would have wore underwear if I knew I was going to float up above everyone. She said, and she said, believe me, I think, and believe me, you don't know how strangely you have to separate yourself from the energy of this world. Do not be conformed to this world's image. The image is energy. And that's why you want to like wear different clothing or, because you're trying to throw off the vibe of the, quote, the world, which mainly isn't because of the human beings, animals, and plants. It's because of the economics. And right at the heart is who's ripping you off, right? And that's what World War II was about. World War II was about who is ripping you off, right? She said, and I went into my dance, and I was taken over by Donna. Absolutely. And I was laughing, Joe. I was out of my body as the observer of Donna in my body, dancing before Himmler and his two lieutenants, Siggy and the drummer, Raja, we called him, Ra, Ja, Ra, Ja. And it was like I came into the middle of the room, and we had like a circle of candles. And Lou was like, now's the time to show Mr. Himmler what we have, what our potential is, what we can produce, right? And he was like, visualize, you are the UFO. Do you see the blades, Maria? And I said, yes. He was like, all three spinning together. 3, the number of stability. Are they precision, Maria? And she was like, I'm locked into you, Lou. They're precision. And she said, I didn't even know what was going on. She said, I already felt like I was floating. But at a certain point, Lou said to me, open your eyes. And I was about 1 inch from the ceiling. And my first thing was to laugh and close my eyes. And when I closed my eyes, it was just energy. Literally the energy that lifts a 2,000-pound steel machine off the ground like it's nothing. She said, I thought to myself, go to the right. Go over to the drummer. Go over to Ra and Siggy. And she said, I was like the floating ghost. She's like, I am Maria Poppins. Believe me. She's like, I've been around a long time. I know all your musicals. I know all your propaganda. I studied it. You are the 666 propaganda machine beast, right? At one point, she said, Lou told me, open your eyes, Maria, look at Himmler. She said, literally, Joe, he looked like he's seen a ghost. He literally looked like he wanted to cover his face. He looked like he thought he was hallucinating. He looked like he thought, like, how you say, these little skinny 5'2" little bitches just gave me a magic potion, and I have to keep my composure. She said that's what he looked like. I gotta keep a handle on myself. Is this woman floating around the room, and she has no underwear on under her little dress?
In the night, Maria takes a flight, shining bright like stars in the sky. Golden strands dancing through time, her whisper pull us hearts in rhyme. Oh Maria, where did you roam? In the whispers of snow you call us home. With each heartbeat your truth we sing, a radiant love, our souls take wing. Through the rose waves, secrets untold, she weaves our fate, a tapestry gold. Guiding light and shadow she glows, with every step her spirit flows. Oh Maria, we seek your way, in cosmic nights forever we sway. Oh Maria, where did you roam? In the whispers of stars you called us home. With each heartbeat your truth we sing, a radiant love, our souls take wing. Oh Maria, lead us high in the echoes of time.